All right, we are going now,
And we're
and I
live.
feel like we're
Let's
so.
today not count down.
I didn't count down, guys. I was gonna say
Yeah,
guess
do it
what?
I,
down.
I
Joe's
appreciate it.
here.
I appreciate that. That's a Joe thing, not a B thing. That shouldn't. That was you trying to be like Joe. You don't
But
need to
I
be like
wasn't
Joe.
trolling.
That was
I
you trying to be like Joe on Monday. Oh,
Wait,
oh,
what was that?
I said that was her trying to be Joe on Monday.
Oh, I can hear something
Yeah.
else too in the background.
That,
Good
just
evening, everyone.
hello, everybody.
Hope y'all all having a good night. Thanks for coming and hanging out with us.
Dr. Pineapple, how are you?
I am well. Thank you so much for asking. How are you, Sandy?
I am good. I'm glad that it's Friday. Anybody else?
Oh my gosh. I've waited for this day since last Sunday. That's
Jamie, sing for us since we don't have our music. Go ahead.
Dun, 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 dun. Is that good? Yeah, I got it. Boots and cats. Boots and cats.
You two were supposed to like fill in the.
Y'all are supposed to go in and help out. We're just gonna drop it. Y'all are gonna do y'all things. See?
No, you caught me off guard with your beat. I'm like, what?
Okay, if you didn't know, one of Sandy's like truest loves in this world is beatboxing. She goes fangirls out of control
I
about
started fangirling. I was over here and I'm like,
it. She was like, whoa, wait a minute. She's not just a doctor. She's Dr. Beatbox.
It's over. It's no more Dr. Pineapples. Dr. Beatbox. That was awesome. I was not expecting that at all.
My wife is a woman of many talents.
I believe that.
So, how was your day, B?
My day, it was okay, to be honest. I'm glad it's Friday, but it was a little rough today. So it's been raining a lot in Miami. So getting to work took an hour. And then I promised the kids I was getting them Krispy Kreme donuts. So I'm a person, I keep my word. So I didn't know today for Krispy Kreme is buy one, get one free. So, oh my goodness, there was a line of people at Krispy Kreme. And mind you, I'm already running late. And then I see 5 cops at the Krispy Kreme, and I'm like, oh my gosh, not the day. But thankfully, nothing was happening. They were just doing a speed trap there. And
they always do a speed trap there. Wonder why.
I know, donuts, you know.
I wonder why.
But yes, I made it to work on time. The kids had their donuts. They were excited. They had 2 donuts because we didn't have much attendance. It's Friday. They don't want to go to summer camp. But other than that, it was good. I did get rain on. I was in the middle of a Zoom meeting, and then all of a sudden you see the clouds, and my coworker's like, "B, I think you need to go." And I'm like, she's like, "Go, girl, go." And then all of a sudden I get poured on, and my car was about half a mile away. So there I am running off and everything. It was a mess.
But you know what? I really think you probably looked good when it started raining and you were running in that Zoom meeting. You probably carrying your computer and your hair probably got all slick in slow motion, wasn't it? You know you look good in that rain.
All about that, Dr. Pineapple.
How?
She said, you know, you look like a good hot mess.
Totally. I rocked it. But that was my day. Thank you. How was who's going next? Who would like
Whoever
to go
you choose.
Pineapples. How was your day?
Oh, come
Sorry,
on.
pineapple.
I had a oh my gosh. I told y'all that my job flooded yesterday. Did I not? Or not? Maybe
yes,
I don't remember.
You did. You didn't tell us on air.
Okay. My job flooded for the second time this year. It was insane. And literally I walked in the door and I was like, are you kidding me? So then today was really quiet. There was nobody at the building already again, more. And I was just like, that's kind of nice. But I was so busy today. I was so busy. I got home and the girls got some new bikes and one of them took their ride. We ate and then I sat down and then fell asleep. And I was like, oh, I started kind of waking up and stuff, and I was like, huh. what time is it? Oh my God, I got it. It's Friday. And I'm looking at it, I'm like, it's 9:03. What in the world did I do? And so, yeah, so I am, my heart is pumping really fast and the adrenaline is moving really good. I've got 100 things to do before the show that are all going to get done after I stop talking and everyone else goes on talk. So with that, I will say, how was your day, babe?
Oh, goodness. I told y'all I hate that question, right? Because all I say is that I work. I work and I work and I work and I don't have anything else to say. Like I'm juggling work. Yeah, like mostly I worked. I got to see my lovely clients who I love seeing. And I fed my kids, and then now I'm on the social and distancing show. So that
What
was
y'all
pretty much
eat?
my day.
I'm curious. What y'all eat for dinner?
What was that?
Huh?
Culver's.
Oh,
It's
Culver's. Okay.
Yeah, it's like a restaurant here.
Oh,
It's a
I
burger
love
joint.
Okay.
It's not a Whataburger at all.
Well,
But it's
passing through Illinois, we did see Culver. I think we stopped at a Culver. Well, a gas station next to Culver's.
you passed through Illinois?
Yes, last year on my way to Minneapolis for the Final Four.
Oh,
I remember that picture.
cool.
And you didn't say, hey, hi man, what's
Listen,
up?
How dare you, Wendy?
I was a tag along. Like I stowed away in somebody's car. They had no idea I was there.
She is instigating. She's like, how dare you? Tell him. Tell him.
I was being very quiet until I started karaokeing.
Was Eric with you?
No, okay. So crazy thing is, Eric was in San Francisco.
San Francisco?
Yes. So I went to Minneapolis at the Final Four thing, and then that following weekend I met him in San Francisco. So he didn't get to go.
Man, I've often wanted to take like a trip with just the fellas, like grab Joe and Rod and JD and be like,
You're like, what?
yeah.
I was like, what happened to them?
Yeah.
Those fellas.
No, never mind.
I don't mind if you take your trip as long as you have your affairs in order before you leave. That's all I care about.
That's right.
Just
That was
have
something
your
like
affairs
Ray.
in order
What was his name? Sandy from
before
episode
you
1
leave.
of Unsolved Mysteries. What's his name? Ray Rivera.
Yes.
That was like some Ray Rivera stuff right there, Takisa.
So where you'll find his notes will be taped behind his computer.
Behind his computer. That was kind of odd. But I told Jaime what I thought happened.
Okay, tell me. I want to know what you thought.
So I think that his friend, who he flew down to be a part of that business, right? So they moved there to be a part of the friend's business.
Yes.
I think that he was what were they called? Not a knight.
Freemason.
Freemason. He was a Freemason. He was going through the Freemason process. And usually fraternal orders have just these weird, odd processes. So he was going through one of those processes and something went terribly wrong. And so they just kind of closed up, because fraternal orders are really good about keeping secrets. I mean, that's kind of what they do. I'm a part of a sorority. There are secrets that we keep that only our sorority knows about.
Tell us one.
You're a Freemasonista?
Tell us one secret.
As soon as you become a Sigma Gamma Rho, I will tell you everything.
You tell them, that's what it is.
But I think that's probably what happened. And they were like, oh my goodness, this was a crazy accident. Let's just keep quiet about this. And that's what happened.
I mean, I just don't understand, if that's your best friend, he relocated to you, why they would have the gag order. I mean, they immediately shut down. So, I mean, to me, guilty as hello. I mean, that's just all there is to it.
But do you think it was because of I think he was a Freemason. But if you have millions and Freemasons have a lot of power if you look at their history. So there are a lot of powerful people in the Freemasons too. So if you think about that, it would make more sense for him to stay quiet.
Yes. I don't know. That was just crazy. But I don't know if you've seen any of the updates on, there's a bunch of tips coming in and all these other things are coming in based on, on this new shoot, what am I trying to say? On this new Unsolved Mysteries, there's a lot of tips that are coming in, and especially with, I don't know if you made it to the Alonzo Brooks case.
I've only watched one.
Oh, okay. Well, then I'll just zip it right now because I'm a good spoiler alert.
No spoilers here, huh? No spoilers.
So listen to this. I have started watching a new show, and it's called Fatal Vows, and it has been intense today's episode because of the graphic content. I'm going to save that for the after show, but man, okay, just know that I came home telling Eric, you'll never guess what I watched today. And I told him about it. And it's just, I mean, seriously, it's just kind of jaw-dropping, just some of the things. And this did not happen here. It happened in Wales. So,
Wales, Britain.
Yeah, it makes me feel a little bit
Carl.
better.
I hope you're listening. I hope you're listening to the after show tonight.
Yes, Carl.
And watch out, Carl.
Yes. But anyway, so it was really good. And yeah, so if you want to hear that story, please be on the after show, Dakisa. I'll just summarize it for you later because it's so good.
Okay, I might have to watch the replay because you know that after like 10 o'clock, I turn into a pumpkin.
Yes, no. That's why I said we'll just summarize that. We'll discuss that one later because it was crazy.
Yes.
But Joe was asking where the countdown is. I hope you heard us, Joe. But B was trying too hard to be like you, and she needed to be.
We just said we told her she needed to be herself.
Yeah.
That's what I was told, Joe, and I followed instructions. So you talk to your people.
Oh, he ain't got nothing to talk about. He just accept it. That's how it runs. That's how it rolls. Carrie saying, I made you cry, Sandy, because my wife started beatboxing. Technically, it's my wife who made you cry.
Made me cry today.
I don't know what Cade. Oh, the donuts.
Oh, yeah, donuts. He said donut.
He looked like a Hallmark movie running.
Oh, she sure did. I agree with that. Hallmark, can you come? I want 10% from that idea too. I want 10% of your makings from Hallmark.
I'm with that too. Oh, my Venmo's at jpina123, so you can go ahead and send the royalties there. B, okay?
Oh, thank you.
All right.
I'll make sure to
Hey, Rain.
Sandy, Death, Abby. It's a lot easier than throwing in.
It is not. JPINA123 is better. Okay.
Joe said he's down.
He's down for the trip.
No, he's down for Venmo.
No, he's not.
Hey, hush your mouth.
So yeah, I like Tim's idea. I might be going to Comic-Con here in a year or two.
Are you?
So we'll see. And look at this. Look how sweet Cade was, Dakisa. He even hashtag Sigma Gamma Rho for us. I was like, wow.
My other pretty poodles.
Thanks for tuning in, Center.
And then just in case y'all didn't know, that was Sandy and Dr. Pineapple's first pre-crime show that they're going to be doing together here in the nearest future, probably. Coming at a near future towards you.
I am down for the get down. Y'all, that just intrigues me. Like, if you want me to be passionate about something, drinking and crime show. No, I'm just kidding.
All right. Hey.
You know, I would watch that. I don't like true crime stuff, but if y'all two were to do a show about true crime shows, movies, cases, I would totally watch that because I'd be like, okay. My wife
you have drunk history, Sandy, where people drink and then tell historical stories, and that show's pretty good. Even though I'm torn because these people are drunk, it's kind of hilarious. It's
okay. So Pineapples will do buzzed and crime stories.
Okay, I'll do the crime story. You do the buzz.
Okay, got it.
Okay,
all over
guys are crazy. Y'all are crazy. All right, so listen up here. We have a question today for you all. If you remember, my wife is coming on. Dr. Pineapples is joining us on Fridays because she is taking, that beautiful woman right there. Okay.
No, well, I don't know.
So you guys are supposed to email us your questions, and then she picks one. And then from that, she's going to answer it on today's show. So without further ado, are you all ready to get to the juicy bits?
Yes, I'm ready.
All right, here we go.
I have my way.
You're ready.
Yeah, I better get y'all's pen and pads out for note-taking time. Here's the question. Dear Dr. Pineapples, My wife and I have been very happily married for 7 years. A few years ago, we found out close friends of ours were in an open marriage. Needless to say, we were surprised when they told us about their marriage being open. But because of our close relationship with them, they were open to us asking questions about how they came to that decision. This conversation with our friends was the first time I realized couples could have a healthy marriage outside the boundaries of a typical monogamous relationship. Since then, I've learned a lot more about open marriage and would like to propose the idea to my wife. How would you suggest I bring up this topic to her? Signed, Curious.
Well, come on, Curious. All right. Well, first of all, welcome to the land of open-mindedness. Okay. So many, let me tell y'all, 4%, which is 1 in 25. So Jaime and I live in a neighborhood that has about 25 houses, right? It's a very small neighborhood. One family in this neighborhood probably is in an open marriage, one couple in our neighborhood. So if you have 50 houses in your neighborhood, which is more the norm, bigger neighborhoods, then you probably have 2 couples in your neighborhood who have an open marriage. We don't know about this because it's so stinking taboo. Like, people don't talk about it, but I have 2 couples in my small practice right now who are in an open marriage, 2 married couples, and I have 2 single couples who are in an open relationship. So it's super, super common, actually. There's support groups for open relationships. And so I really wish that it wasn't such a big taboo and that people could make decisions about their relationship. So that's me. I'm going to get off my my soapbox here. And then I'm going to talk to Mr. Curious. So the first thing that I would encourage you to do is figure out why you would like to be in an open relationship, because you're going to have to be able to communicate that super clearly to your wife. Is it because you want to have more emotional connections with other people? Is it because you want to be more sexually adventurous? Can I say that on this show? Be more sexually adventurous. Like, what are the reasons why you want to have that open relationship, and be able to communicate that with your wife? Now, some of the things that I have seen pop up are sometimes if partners aren't just super open to that, and she could be super open to that. I mean, she could be thinking the same thing you're thinking, but you just bring it up first.
You might already be.
Now, that's not a traditional open marriage. That's called an affair. Hasn't told you. That's a whole different ballgame.
Please listen to that. Please listen to that.
An open or polyamorous relationship is where the 2 partners have talked about spending time with other people. So that would be more of an affair.
Spending time.
But once you decide why and have the language for why you want to have this relationship, if your wife has questions, I'd really be ready to answer those questions for her. If she says no, you have to know that that is a no.
Hard
and
stop.
That means that idea is not something that's going to work in your relationship. But I would make sure that she feels secure. And you said you're in Jaime, it was a very happy 7-year marriage, right?
Yeah, they capitalized very, very happily married for 7 years.
I would just reiterate to her how happy you are in that relationship and why you're thinking about the open marriage. I would also do this after you have planned like a weekend getaway or something.
Not during the getaway, after the getaway.
After the getaway.
No, during. I would plan a weekend getaway to be able to have the conversation, because you're going to need some time to be able to process and talk through it. Have y'all ever had a conversation that was kind of tense and then you go to sleep and wake up the next day and you have more questions?
Yes.
So you want to allow, curious, you want to allow your wife to be able to wake up refreshed and ask those more questions. You don't want, I don't know if you have kids, but you don't want the kids running around and her really not being able to process what you're asking her. So I would really plan a weekend getaway. I would ask her early in the getaway, allow her to answer as many questions as she had. You can answer those questions for her. Y'all can start to have conversation about it. And then that'll allow her to go to sleep and wake up and ask more questions if she has it. If you all do decide that that is something that you would want to do, I would definitely go to a marriage and family therapist like myself. We can help you set healthy boundaries for your open relationship to make sure that it doesn't mess with your very, very happy 7-year marriage. So curious, I hope that was helpful, and that's all the advice that I would have for you. Good luck in your talk with your wife.
See,
I'm
so
just,
that was
Sandy is looking so like,
is Curious his last name Assistant? I'm just curious.
Wait, Sandy, how long have y'all been married?
Oh, okay. Yeah. 15 years.
It's been okay. So
Mr. Curious is
we're
not
about to have another
Not
real
your
life
hubby.
unsolved mysteries happen on the show.
So that's a really great response. And so, you know, now this is me being a friend. I will kill him right now. This will be true crime.
I was just about to say, a weekend getaway is a time for like a murder scene. Like all those true mysteries, that's when they plot things. Dr. Pineapple.
He will not. I will tell you right now. He asked me something like that. He won't come back, and I'm like, oh. He went out to get cigarettes, and he never came back.
We'll see. Go ahead, B.
I was like, that's how they fall off the boat, you know?
Mm-hmm.
That's when that happens. Yeah.
Y'all know that Jack didn't have enough room with Rose. Assistant don't have enough room in the car coming back.
You know, so I'm trying to be serious here, but listen, so I've just got to ask, like, that just seems intricately complicated to have multiple relationships. Like, I hear about people on Reddit who do this a lot, right? But I always see bad stories on that, Dr. Pineapples. Like, I always see how people are like, basically it seemed like a good idea at the time, but then they realized how their relationship spiraled out of control because it was not something. These are my words. They just either there was some glitter that they were sprinkling over the idea. There was some feelings that they didn't really take into consideration about the whole situation. Like, it seems like some of these people are not mature. You know, I don't even know if that's the word to use. Wise, mature. I don't know. When they talk about having these type of relationships.
See, I mean, you have to be open-minded. That's what Dr. Pineapple said. You have to be open-minded. It's a new culture.
And I get that. And I get open-mindedness, but here's the deal. Then you get feelings involved. You know, and then you start, you know, and then you start to where you're like, okay, and I would feel as a woman like, okay, I don't look like that. Is that something that you desire? So then that would start playing in my head.
Right.
You know? And then
like insecurities start popping up for you that you didn't have before.
Because you're happy, you're fine, but why all of a sudden do you want to do that? Because I have friends that do that, and I'm not curious about that. And you know, and it's never been anything that I thought, oh, hey, I'm interested. I'm not, because I'm like, if you want to go out there and do that, that's because you're not into me, and I feel like I would not be enough. So for me, it would be a lot of insecurities on my part. And you know, from what I know, I think men are crazy visual, so I think maybe that would have an impact there too.
Yeah. What I hear you saying, Sandy, is that an open marriage is not for you, right?
That's what I heard.
But there are some couples. Look at her. Look at her. She's going, but there are some couples that it works very well in their marriage. Let me tell you a little bit about the research, actually, because there's a marriage and family therapist that study this stuff. I just love it. I eat it up. So, research tells us that couples who are polyamorous are just as equally happy as couples who are monogamous. So not like more happy, not like less happy, just equally content. So it doesn't necessarily have to hurt your relationship. I wouldn't go into it thinking that it was going to help your relationship. It is something new and something different. So it can be an addition to your relationship. And it is, Jaime, you were talking about like how it goes bad. I think that's why it's important to set those boundaries and have consistent conversation, because say the wife started to concede, but did start to feel insecure, then maybe the relationships end. Or maybe there's a tweak on the relationship, right? So you have to have a very open communication with your partners. You all have to agree, and that does take a lot of time and energy. Really, it's like having another job, having another relationship. But there are lots of folks who have more than one partner and are very happy in those relationships.
Yeah, I mean,
so the idea here is it's Feel Good Friday, and this man sent us a message. He was looking for, he asked Dr. Pineapples, how would you suggest I bring this topic up to her? And so in the vein of keeping things feel good and positive, I think that he's doing a good first step by engaging and asking a professional for help instead of just kind of, what movie did he watch that he was like, oh, this is going to be easy. Let me just,
Yeah.
So, yeah. How I'm curious also in this sense, as far as like, how do they process and deal with this with children? Like, I don't know. I just feel like when you involve children, like that's a different layer that, the potential hurt for your kids versus your personal
preference, your happiness,
maybe your sexual pleasure. I mean, it's not bad. Sexual pleasure is not bad, right? I mean, I don't feel like it's a bad thing, but because it's not normal, right? Because like you said earlier, it's a taboo topic. How do you how can, if he didn't mention kids, but maybe he didn't think about kids. I know as a man, there's a lot of things I don't think about outside of whatever's in my, right in front of me. So if you have kids, how do you navigate these type of waters with that added layer?
Yeah.
Long term, would it like put trauma in the kid?
Right. So, well, let me back up a little bit. And you said it's not normal. And I guess normal means average. So you'd be right about that. But I don't want to put more stigma on folks who are polyamorous or who are in an open relationship. I just think it depends on whether it works for your family. And I think that kids aren't involved in most sexual concerns. I mean, that's the other thing I wanted to say is it's not always about sex either. Polyamory is not always about sex. There are people who are asexual, who don't engage in sex, who could have multiple partners. So that's another thing to think about and open your mind about. But if there was a sexual component to the open marriage, most kids aren't involved in parents' sexual exploits anyway.
Right.
Yeah, don't be talking to your kids about that, you weird.
Yeah. I didn't mean it like that. I meant like just the emotional aspect. It's like an emotional gravity well in my mind, I think, when you have a relationship with someone. Like I know my relationship with you, babe, like that takes emotions and stuff, and I get happy, and sometimes I get jealous of the kids, like I'm like, get out the room, I want to talk to mommy alone, so just go. And I don't even have a deep conversation. I just want to talk about unsolved mysteries with you without the kids hopping in, and everything else. And I just want my time with you just for us. And so I'm thinking about that, and I'm like, so I guess it's kind of like, I guess when you have more kids, right? Like you love this child so much and you want all this time with him, but then you have another kid and you're like, or you're going to have one, you're like, how in the world am I going to have more love for another kid when I've got so much here? It's kind of the same thing. I think, how am I going to be able to split my love and time with someone else or multiple others when I've already got my wife and my kids? It's weird for me.
Well, think about it like this, because my pumpkin time is coming. It's almost 10 o'clock. So
Oh, wow.
this is my last piece of knowledge that I will drop.
Okay.
Think about it like this. Like, so before I got married, I was like, I want to marry a truck driver. Do y'all know why I wanted to marry a truck driver?
So you could
Oh.
travel.
Oh.
No. So he would be gone and I could hang out by myself. And then he would come back and we would have a good time together. And then he would leave again so I could be by myself. Okay. So for people like that, right? That's a different mindset than what you're talking about, Jaime. Like, you know, I want to spend this time with you. There are some people who want to spend time with different people, who want to be alone. We have this box of what marriage and relationships look like. That is what make relationships that don't look like the typical American marriage. That's what makes that taboo. So I would just encourage people to kind of open their mind and know that there are other things out there that exist, and just try not to, try not to shame other people who have different lifestyles than most.
Sounds.
So, hey y'all, I don't have to go home, but I gotta get out of here.
Bye, Dr. Pineapple.
It was good to see y'all.
Thank you.
I'll see you
Enjoyed it.
Friday.
Bye.
Love you, baby.
Bye.
Have a good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Aww.
So that was an interesting.
That was an interesting email.
Yeah.
What? Curious. Hmm.
You all right, Sandy?
Sandy is, she's a little scared.
Just know that that's about as that I guess I'm not as open-minded as I thought I was.
And I think that's okay, right? It's okay, or
Everybody's
it's okay
making
not to be
mistakes.
open-minded about it.
Yeah,
I don't knock.
mean,
Well,
I mean,
you know.
I know people. I mean, I know lots of people. I don't knock it. That's their cup of tea. It's not my cup of whiskey, so we're good, you know?
and you're happily married, and that's what you want, and that's your definition of
We gotta
happiness.
be happily married.
Are we? Let me bring her back on real quick and ask her. We are happily married, right, babe? Nah, just like-
No, that's the question.
no, it's not. B, get out of there, okay? You're sticking your nose in places. Good night. All right. Well, guys, if you have a relationship question and you want to answer it, I mean, we've got 2 questions here today and last Friday. Remember, Dr. Pineapples comes on the beginning of the show with us. We might try to cut it down so we'd stop asking each other about our day and just be like, get into the question, because this was some juicy stuff today. And we'll just see. So ask your question, send an email to the social undistancing show at gmail.com, and in the subject line, if you'll just put Dr. Pineapples, we'll make sure that email gets to her. And as you've seen, she's going to keep it confidential. She's not putting names out there or anything. So feel secure in knowing that she's getting that email and that it's all good. She's a therapist. She's a legit PhD therapist. She knows what she's talking about. She's done the research. You heard her say she's helping couples out all the time, but it's not just couples. If it's relationships. So with you and your mama, you and your child, whatever, she can help you out with that. Okay, that is what she does. Let's see, Miss Carrie's on here. Hey, Carrie. She says, I think it's okay to know the boundaries for our own relationships, but we need to celebrate our friends who have boundaries that look different than ours. That's what I got out of her open-mindedness advice.
Amen. That's what I said. That's like, I know people, and hey, we're friends and everything else, and that's them, and that's you, and you do you. And
you're like, but I'm telling you right now, a hard no. Don't ever ask me.
There you go. So, assistant, you know.
Yeah.
You know.
So, with that being said, we're going back. Not going back. We're going back on our Feel Good Friday train, and we're gonna go back to who wants to go next.
I'll go first. What? What'd you say?
B wants to go first. She says.
No, I said Sandy. Oh wait, other way. There we go. Sandy.
Because I'm like, did you say Jamie or Sandy? I'm not sure. Okay, yeah, I'll go first. I want to share. So I sent you a I sent you 2 links. I want you to share the second one here in just a second. So my Feel Good Friday takes us all the way to my backyard. I am a frequent shopper at our Wolford's Farmers Market. And at our farmers market, we have a little stand. It's called Nick's Shaved Ice Paradise. What makes this very unique is that Mr. Bruce Bustle owns this place, and him and his son Nick originally started it because his son Nick is special needs.
Oh, okay.
So when he graduated high school, it was kind of one of those things. It's like, who's going to help his son? Who's going to hire his son? So he went in and opened it, and it was him and his son. And then he decided he wanted to extend it further to hire other kiddos, have a summer job with special needs. And so here, just this past week, it recently let me take that back. So as I go to the farmer's market, I saw that he was not operating because of all of this stuff. And so, special needs and, compromised immune systems. So he was still having to stay afloat because sadly, he happily became a 501c3, which is a nonprofit, but that was right before COVID hit. And so he was having to raise funds to stay afloat and, to keep his business, the 501c3, going. So anyway, just this past week, I saw where he was, Bruce was doing a bike ride across Texas. So from the very north of Texas to the very tip of Texas, he rode across to raise awareness for his Differently Awesome nonprofit organization, and he did a local interview. And so I want to share that with you guys to bring awareness, and also disability does not mean inability, which I love that so much. So Jamie, if you could share that would be awesome.
Sure. The video?
Yes.
Okay.
The second link.
Yep.
Okay.
Sweet.
A local father is biking across Texas to save his business turned nonprofit. Nick's Shaved Ice Paradise started serving up snow cones in June of 2018. Their slogan, Differently Awesome, refers to their employees. Nick's only hires people with disabilities or special needs.
In February, just a month before the coronavirus pandemic took off, Nick's officially became a nonprofit organization. Owner Bruce Bustle is now riding his bike across Texas to raise awareness and funds for the organization.
KCBD News Channel 11's Julie Castañeda has more. Julie?
Karen and Abner, after his organization almost went under because of the pandemic, 64-year-old Bruce Bustle is on a mission. He combined his 2 passions to help raise money and awareness about Nick's Differently Awesome outreach. And to do so, he plans to ride his bike about 930 miles across the Lone Star State.
The main reason for this was to use this passion to bring attention to Nick's. So the 2 passions I have, Nick's Shaved Ice and my bicycle. So let's put them together.
Yesterday, Bruce started his journey in Texoma. He rode a little more than 85 miles and ended up outside of Fritch. Bruce says every 2 days of riding is dedicated to one of his 6 employees.
I love cycling. I've done it for many, many, many years. But what I'm doing this time has more meaning because it's a purpose.
Bruce says he is self-funding the ride, and 100% of the donations from this ride will go to the nonprofit organization.
This money is to try to get to that next level of, we have a trailer. We would like to do something else because instead of 6 employees, I think it would be cool to have 10 employees or 20 employees, all who have developmental disabilities and who have a hard time finding a job.
Even through the tough Texas summer heat, Bruce reminds himself.
And I remember thinking, you're doing this. I'm doing this for a reason. I'm not going to stop. I'm not going to, you don't give up. And I realize at some point when I get past Lubbock or even maybe before, it's going to get really difficult. Every tour I've ever been on, there are days when you don't want to be on that bike, but you go on. And the reason I'll go on this time is that I'm hoping every community we go into, there's somebody asks me, why are you doing this? I love to tell them, I'm doing this to save Nick's Shaved Ice Paradise.
Today is day 2 of his 12-day journey. He started about 6 o'clock this morning, and around 2 o'clock he ended there in Tulia. Now tomorrow, Bruce will stop here in Lubbock before he continues on his journey on Saturday. The ride will end in South Padre around July the 13th. Now, Bruce's journey, he'll be averaging about 78 miles per day on his bike with 2 resting days during his tour. We have more information on Nick's at our website at kcbd.com, and you can catch the Nick's crew this weekend at the Wolforth's Farmers Market from 10 o'clock till 2 o'clock. Karen and Abner, I'll send it back to you.
Thank you.
So he made it, and the second link is him coming in. So when I watched it, I reached out to Bruce, and I said, "Hey, I want to share your story." And he said, "I'm headed back to Lubbock." He said, "I'll be in tonight." And so anyway, I shared the link of him making it. I mean, I just got emotional. He made his ride, and I mean, just amazing. He's got an awesome mission. I love that he stands for hiring people with disabilities, and I love that I want to say he also exceeded his goal in what he was doing. So that was amazing. And this is him making it in right here.
I cut the audio off because you were talking that
Oh,
way.
sorry. It's okay. You can say it right there.
Wished him well, been participating in this along the way, and anyone that gave to the Nick Shaved Ice, he has met and gone beyond his goal. Man, we're so excited. So thank you for everyone that's given. Has carried him along the way, talking to him on late nights on his bike. That's what's carried him through tough days. And so we want to thank you. But here he is, man.
I can't scream, you guys scream.
Come on, let's scream for him. There you go. Yeah, Bruce. Woo!
Go, Dad!
You did it!
Proud of you!
Oh wow, he has a police escort and
Yeah,
everything.
they escorted him in. Yeah.
Texas ain't got nothing on you. Yeah.
How you doing, man?
Hey, just thank you one more time, everyone. Bruce is going to spend a few days here with family and just celebrate his 14-day bike ride from the northern point of Texas at Texoma to the southern point of South Padre Island. We want to thank again the Port Isabel, Texas Police Department and the Texas State Troopers that helped Bruce just cross a bridge. Bicyclists weren't allowed, but they made an exception for him for what he had done.
Yeah.
So share this video. Give if you can give and support the mission of Nick Shaved Ice. And more than anything, just hit up on a page and in a comment and just tell congratulations to Bruce, because he deserves it. He did something that normal people probably would never do. But he did it, and he did it for the cause of Nick Shaved Ice. He loves you guys. We'll tune in here later with Bruce and let him talk a little bit to y'all. But for now, hey, he did it. He made it. Here it is. South Padre Island, Texas. That's his grandson right there. Hey, he loves you. We love you. Thank you for your support, and we'll see y'all here in a little while. Bye.
So anyway, I just love that story. It was awesome. And I did share a link maybe at the beginning of the week. And it's on my Facebook page if you guys want to donate to the cause. It's a great cause. There's also some videos. He also has a blog on his website. They interviewed some of his employees, and they were asked them about, what their favorite part was. And anyway, just a super amazing cause. So that's my feel good for the week. And sorry.
No, I love that. I brought a tear because when I worked back in Skid Row, and I worked with a lot of clients with mental health and physical disabilities, and I would always encourage them, do not let your disability define you. And I just love someone local in Lubbock is pushing that out there and is just bringing awareness, because he doesn't have to do that, but he is, and he's bringing that.
And then the goal that he has, he wants to hire more, because right now he has 6 employees and he wants to hire more and give more opportunities, which is amazing, So I love it.
That's beautiful. That's real beautiful. All right, B, you ready?
Me next? I would like you to go next.
Oh, no, that's okay. My show, I get to say the rules. You get to go first.
Okay. Well, guys, before we get started, I have a question for Jaime and Sandy.
Okay.
So, talking about amazing people, why did y'all start this show?
I'm going to go ahead and ask Jamie.
Okay. So we started the show because when we were told that we couldn't hang out with friends outside anymore, the question was, what do you do when you are a social butterfly and you're an extrovert and you're told that you got to stay at home? How do you navigate that? And the answer is the social and distancing show. We put it together so that the 3 of us could hang out, and it was really easy for us to hang out and talk to each other. And then along the way, we were like, let's bring some guests on and let's continue meeting new people. And so that's what the show's about mainly, and positive and feel good PG-13 content.
Right.
Which is really hard for Sandy, and I really appreciate her taking the effort to do a PG-13 show. So
I love it. And because it is positive and it's Feel Good Friday, I want to do a shout out to all 3 of you. Joe, I know you're not on the show, but y'all made this show for people to, at the end of the day, have that laugh. And I can say for me in Miami, when I don't have family out here, y'all were part of my routine at the end of the day. I would watch y'all, and y'all are just a familiar face. And even my room is like, I don't even know them, but they still make me laugh. They're hilarious.
Oh, that's awesome.
They say, oh, Sandy has that Southern twang. Jaime, they say Jaime has that politician, like, you should be on a talk show. And they just say you're just so funny. But yeah, so I wanted to bring it back to you guys. And I have a little presentation. So at this time, Jaime, you can give me permission to share my screen. I would like to show you.
Oh, wow, that's awesome.
Absolutely. Go ahead. Make sure I get my tissues.
I know. I'm like,
I'm already like, okay, calm down.
Right.
Can y'all please let me know if y'all see a PowerPoint on your end?
We see it.
Okay, here we go. So it is Feel Good Friday, July 17th. And we're going to go take it back to this whole week. And I want to thank y'all for having me be Joe's fill-in. He wasn't too happy, but even though he was on vacation, he was still part of it. And as he commented, and we're taking it to Tuesday when Miss Carter, my sorority sister, came in on the show. And I thank y'all for allowing her to be a part of the show. And also, and for Carrie, getting the viewers. I'm sorry, it's going a little too fast. But going back to Jamie and Sandy, they finally did it. Dandy, you finally got it. And then on the next day, guys, we had our parent guy, and I want y'all to remember this. Mom and dad look in the mirror and realize the heroes you are. And that is what I took from it. Remember, Mom and dad, the heroes you are. And then the next day, we had Mr. Alex, the podcaster, who's very passionate about football. And I had no idea what was going on, but yet we had a great time. We had good laughs. Last but not least, let's see, here we go. Thank you, Dr. Pineapples, for coming in and joining us today. It's always great to hear your advice, your input, and professional advice. And I just want to thank you all for having me on the show. It's been a pleasure meeting such talented humans and laughing nonstop. Such an amazing experience. Totally worth the lack of sleep. I might have been late to work a couple of times, but it was totally And wait, I want y'all to read the last one. If there's anything I can leave y'all with, remember it starts with you. You are the light, and just smile. And don't smile, shine. You are the light, and just shine. And as usual, this is why I wanted to go the in, Jaime.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
It's okay. But yeah, that is my Feel Good Friday for you.
Well, awesome, V. Thank you so much.
I wish we could hug you right now. So
Well,
There's some particulate down here in the basement. Gotta give me a minute here, okay? Gets in my eyes sometimes. So.
I know, right?
Yeah.
The sun is out my
Yeah.
window.
Oh, and I wanted to give you the time because I was like, man, I can talk. So we could have easily gotten to the end of the show and be like, oops, we need to do a B real quick. So you're so sweet, B. I'm so glad you're.
Yeah, and that's why I made it fast because I was like, I want to go at the end so I can get it.
Next time I'll trust when you tell me to go next. So that stinks. Like, how do I even follow that up, right? Like, I don't feel like anything I share can come up against that now.
You can talk about me and B now.
Oh, okay. What do I say about you and B?
How you met us.
Right.
I don't remember. Sandy just showed up one day. She was literally, my memory is like, she just popped in there one day. I was like, oh, there she is. And the next thing you know, it's overalls and
hey, popped in. No, Blair Witch was in there. You almost broke my arm.
Oh gosh, that Blair. I did not.
So we were sitting there watching Blair Witch. There we were in the theater. We were in San Antonio, and Jamie was like this. And I don't know what part came up. And I mean, all I know is my arm went this way. He grabbed my arm and it like twisted out the way. I was like,
it was an accident. Her arm just happened to be in the way when I sneezed.
And I'm not freaking out because in the movie I'm screaming because I'm about to lose a limb over here.
I love horror movies, but now I can't stand them. Now I can't watch them. I can only watch them with my wife. She's the only one, and I tell her that. I'm like, and my kids too. I'm like, only watch scary stuff when mommy's around because I can't do it.
10 o'clock in the morning so I can process and forget.
Yes. So the bright sun can remind me and shower me with its glory. And
right.
Yeah. So yeah. We're just moving on. What
is your feel good Friday, Jaime?
All right. So let me share. I'll share with you what this story. So we are there's an artist. His name is Jerry Conway. He's actually very popular. Lots of you know who he is, and you don't even realize it yet. He is an artist that he co-created this image, and this image has been co-opted by several groups that have taken it to a negative place. Okay, and what he ended up doing was asked a lot of people, a lot of artists. He asked them to come on and recreate his iconic image for a better cause than what it was being used for. He wanted to basically take back the image and not have it associated with the negative connotation that he felt it had with it. So let me show you here. As soon as you see it, maybe you'll realize who Jerry Conway is.
Oh, from the Punisher.
He co-created the Punisher. And so lots of people have used his skull for some things that he doesn't agree with. And so he wanted a way to basically take it back. And what he did was he created this opportunity for artists of color to come on and give their interpretations of the design. Mm-hmm. So he created this what do you want to call it? This event, this push, whatever. And he wanted to it's called Skulls for Justice. And so what he did is he gave all these artists of color an opportunity to create different renditions of the skull and support it for Black Lives Matter. And he wanted to be able to, and all the money that was raised from this was donated to Black Lives Matter because he believes that Black Lives Matter, as do I, and that he wants to show his support for that versus the image has this negative connotation he feels like for Black people, and he doesn't want that. So he had all these artists come in and recreate or do a version of the shirt for themselves. So this was a campaign. That's what I was looking for. So all these people had an opportunity to get people to vote for their shirt and then put in money for those shirts. And you can see there's the money raised in the middle. Some of them really didn't go through, but a lot of them had some good money raised. All in all, he raised about $80,000.
Oh wow!
Through all the shirts. The shirt that I got, you can see again. That shirt, here's the little a blurb about the artist right here. It says, for too long, symbols associated with the character I co-created have been co-opted by forces of oppression and to intimidate Black Americans. This character and symbol was never intended as a symbol of oppression. This is a symbol of a systemic failure of equal justice. It's time to claim this symbol for the cause of equal justice and Black Lives Matter. That's a note from Jerry Conway. The creator of this design, his name is Khalid Johnson. He said, the creator of this art is Khalid Johnson. My name is Khalid Johnson. I am a current SCAD graduate student studying sequential art. I aspire to create comics for Black people and people of color, superhero comics especially.
Cool.
So here's his Twitter account, and this is what made me buy his shirt, because I was like, I didn't go off of the design that I liked the best. I went and looked for their, their bio, and then checked out their social media just to see what they're about. And this guy, he has some really good looking art, to me at least.
Yeah.
This is some of the art style that he draws, and the fact that he supports, he wants to put Black people, dark skinned people at the front of his comics and show that off. I enjoy that. My kids are, Afro Latinas, and it's important to me that they see positive images of dark skinned people in media. And so both my oldest, she loves comic books, she loves graphic novels. And so this is someone who I want her to start getting connected with. But anyway,
super talented. And he's he's in college, right? I was thinking high school for a second. Okay.
Yeah. And here's his comic book company.
Oh wow!
And so I really like his art style. So I can't wait to just learn about him more. But this was the one that I had chosen. Let's see, what time is it? 5:56. We got 56. Let me show you this other guy that I wanted. The second story that I wanted to follow up. But I had this guy that I read about who essentially he's a teacher, and one day after graduation, he noticed that there was one of his students who was still stuck around the auditorium. And so as he's cleaning up, he's like, hey man, where's your family? Where's your, you should be hanging out with them. It's a great time of graduation, high school. He kind of said, he just told him no one showed up. It was fine. And so he was like, okay. So he finished, the teacher finished cleaning the auditorium. He grabbed him. He said, hey, come on, let's go. Let's just go out. He could tell that the kid was sad. He was a little heartbroken that he didn't have anyone show up on graduation day. The day it should be really excited and happy, right?
Yeah.
And who knows what the story was? The teacher talked about how he didn't pry, he didn't ask, he didn't want to bring anything like that, and so he ended up telling the kid, he was like, where do you want to go eat? I'm hungry, and let's just go pick. The kid chose the Cheesecake Factory. They go to the Cheesecake Factory, and and while there, he just kind of tells me, he's like, I just want you to know you're awesome, you're worth something, you are amazing, and just doing a lot of reaffirming to him. And so he ended up wanting to tell the story out. He wanted to tell the story out there, and he ended up starting, a GoFundMe or something else, and he was able to raise a lot of money from. He started his own bank account. He's working towards getting him a vehicle right now. He's going to be going into the workforce here soon. And anyway, it was just a really, really good story here. And I was like, man, because of time, I'm gonna leave the link in the comments so you guys can go take a look and read for it yourself.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah. But I really loved hearing the story. I love the positivity of just helping. When kids they're in a, I won't say bad spot, but I got a soft spot for kids, man. You know what I mean? And so whenever you do something good for kids, I think about my kids. When people have done nice things for them, like, you speak to me louder than any words you could have used when you are helping my kiddo out without asking.
Exactly. Like, that's the thing is, actions speak louder than words. I mean, yes.
So
we need to be the light.
Yes.
It starts with us, guys.
So it does. And we can always impact someone's life positively. We can.
For sure. Oh yeah, for sure.
So on your chance, go take a read, and if you feel compelled, support whatever the GoFundMe or whatever he's got out there. So anyway, that's all mine right now.
Well, awesome. Thank you for sharing those. Those are good.
Yeah. Now I feel like we need to go back and do B so we can end it right, right?
Right.
I'm like, oh man, that doesn't compare.
Only.
Yeah. So B, we're gonna be sad. You're leaving us today. Today's your last day with us. It's pretty sad.
I'm sad. I'm sad too. It's gonna feel different. Like I had my I'm a creature of habit. So I knew my schedule. By the time I make home, I have to work out. I have to do this, and I have my alarm set for 10 o'clock, so I get ready, and then I do the show. Then by 12:30, I call it a night. But yeah.
See, now you'll be on time to work and everything.
I know, how joyous.
Until I take my vacation.
When's your vacation, Sandy?
I don't know. We haven't decided.
Oh,
God. By the seat of our pants.
I won't be taking vacation, B. So anyway.
Oh, you deserve a vacation.
Yeah. I would like one, but I'm not taking one anytime soon.
You can still do a staycation, sir.
That's a good idea. I might take you up on that one actually one day. Hang close to your phone. We'll see. Everyone, I hope you have a wonderful weekend. I'm going to plan on getting my Blackstone set up this weekend and see if I can get a couple videos published and show that. We'll see. No promises. We'll see. I don't know what the weather's going to be like here. But I hope you all have a great weekend. Thanks for hanging out with us. Guys, you got last things you want to say?
Yes, come to the after show. We got things to talk about.
Oh, yeah. And remember, the after show, all bets are off. We don't follow the whole PG-13 positive and everything. I get to be as negative as I'm just playing.
Right. It's negative time.
Yeah. We drink it up is what B's telling. So anyway, guys, have a great weekend. Come join us next week. We'll let you know who's going to be on the show on Monday, okay? And as usual,
remember to wash your hands.
For at least 20 seconds.
You filthy animals.
Good night, everybody. B's like, I finally got it down.
She got it. I really like hers. I really like her. Joe, when Joe comes back, he's gonna be like, let me see how I can outshine her now.
Yeah.
He's gonna be like, what?
He's gonna count in a different language.
Oh,
right? He's gonna be like,
I'm so sad that counting's coming back next week.
Oh, you better watch